Hey y'all, I'm JamesWright and welcome back to Wizards News. Today I want to talk about charms and hexes. Let's make Professor Flitwick proud of us. Originally, I was going to do a video covering charms and hexes and the skill tree and potions and just put it all in one big thing because I've been getting a lot of questions and they all kind of blend together into things you use in a fortress. But after jumping into that video, I realized this was going to be like 30-40 minutes long. Ain't nobody got time for that. So today I just want to focus on hexes and charms. I want to look at all three skill trees and go over what they do, when to use them, and how exactly they work. And even up until recently, I've had a lot of questions about these. And so this is one of these topics that a lot of people have been told good information and bad information, and there's a lot of things that aren't known about it. So let's actually dive in and take a look at these. Now, first, before we dive into this, let's actually take a look at hexes and charms. What are the differences? Hexes are red, and these are things you're going to be putting on your foes, on the opponents, and you can put one hex on each foe. Now, the auras actually have multiple hexes, so what they can do is they can put multiple hexes on a foe, but you can only put one of any particular type of hex onto a foe. You'll notice underneath the foe that there are square boxes indicating that there is currently a hex on them from one of the individuals in your group. So you can see if someone else has already put a hex on that person or not. Charms are green. Charms are for you and your friends. They help out your team and they build you up. And each one of them will add different aspects to you, whether it be healing or reviving or improving your efficiency in the game. So you'll be able to drag those green ones up and put them onto you and your teammates. Now, one of the nice things about most of the hexes and charms is if you put them on a teammate or on a foe, they will stay there for the course of the event. So on a protection charm, such as a professor would do, or a proficiency charm, you put those on you or your teammates, and they are there for the entirety of the battle. And so these can help you out a long way through the battle, and it's very important to get these onto you and your teammates as early as possible. If you can use a potion to increase your focus and use them early, do so because it will really help you out. Let's start this off by looking at hexes and charms that belong to a professor. Now, as I am a professor, this is a little bit easier for me. These are ones that I know fairly intimately. The only hex that we as professors have is the Deterioration Hex. This is something that will cause damage to your foes when you use Protego. Now, originally it was 80 damage that it would do every time you would use it, and that was amazing. There were people actually doing entire challenges where they weren't causing any offensive damage. They were just using Protego and killing everyone. It was like, this is awesome. But they've recently nerfed that back down to just 40, so it's still an incredibly useful hex. It's just not as powerful as it was before. Putting a Deterioration Hex onto a foe will mean that anytime someone does a Protego with that particular foe, it will cause them damage, up to 40. Next, for the professor, you have the Mending Charm, and this is basically a healing charm, and it will heal you a little bit. It'll either heal you 2 hit points or it'll heal you 4, which really is not that much, especially when you may have a stamina of 400. And you can use this every 6 seconds. It doesn't take any focus at all. It's a really quick and easy thing to use. But that being said, it's kind of pointless, and it ends up costing more time than it's generally worth. I hope that's something they fix in the future, but it's one of those things that you think, oh yes, I should be able to heal with that rather than using potions. But if it's only healing you 2 or 4, that's just not that much. Next, for professors, you have the Protection Charm. This is a charm that you can put on you or your teammates, and it will increase the defense that they have. So it means that if you have a really aggressive foe, that foe is not going to do as much damage. And depending upon where you're at, that can be a significant amount. And so this is one of the big things. At first, I didn't think it did that much. But after you grow this up a little bit, this charm really does a lot, and it can help you defeat some very heavy foes because those heavy-hitting foes just don't hit as hard because you have more defense on your side. And then last, for professors, you have the Proficiency Charm. And this is a great one if you are in a group. Putting this Proficiency Charm on the group, it actually affects everyone at once. And what it does is it beefs up the proficiency of everyone in the group. And proficiency is what you are good at. So professors, we are great against werewolves and pixies. So if I put this on the group, then I will be even better against werewolves and pixies. It won't help me against acromantulas and it won't help me against Death Eaters. But if we do have an aura in the group, group, then that will help them out against Death Eaters and Dark Wizards, because that is what they are proficient at. So it will help everyone with what they are already good at, but make it even better. And this way, if you're in a group, everyone can focus on what they're good on, because it then helps everyone out. Magizoologist. They are the tanks in the group. They're the ones who can take a lot of hits. They have a massive amount of stamina, and they are the support structure. So if you are in a challenge with several other people, it's good to have at least one other Magizoologist there, because they can help everyone out. Most of their charms are dealing with helping other people and healing and bringing people back. The first charm that a Magizoologist will learn is the Stamina Charm, and this is the way to restore stamina very quickly, and a decent amount of it. So this is the way you can really help out your teammates with their stamina and build that back up very quickly when it goes down. Magizoologists also have the Mending Charm, and just like with the professors, it's kind of pointless, especially when you have the Stamina Charm as well. The Mending Charm just doesn't do that much. It will increase the stamina a little bit. So yeah, Mending Charm. One of the big ones, if you are in a group, is the Revive Charm. And I've seen this actually used a few times, where you have someone who's fighting someone very big, and what they end up doing is they attack them without fear of healing themselves. And anytime they get knocked out, then the Magizoologist can use the Revive Charm and bring them back. Now, I don't know exactly if this is the best plan of attack and not healing at all and just using the Revive Charm, because it does take a lot of time, but it is a huge time saver. If you have someone who's knocked out, you can revive them, bring them back, and this is a phenomenal asset to a group. So when you get knocked out, you can come back in rather than waiting an entire minute and a half, which no one wants to do. The last one that Magizoologists have is the Bravery Charm, and this is another thing that is great for the group. And this will increase your power, which sounds phenomenal. Your power will be better, it means you attack harder, but it only increases it towards elite foes. So if you are in a chamber with a lot of elite foes, which I was in one earlier this week where I came up against 2 elite foes, it would have been fantastic to have that, because it would have made them much easier. But if you're in a chamber without elite foes, then it's really not that beneficial. Now, yes, this will help you personally if you are soloing, but if you are in a large group, it will help everyone in the group. So yeah, Magizoologists are great in a group. Now let's move on to auras. They are the glass cannon. They have an incredible amount of power and just run into the chamber swinging punches and knocking people out left and right. They are the powerhouse in the group. Whereas the Magizoologist helps everyone out, the aura is just the guy slamming fist and knocking everyone over. Auras are the one profession with multiple hexes, so they can do more damage to their foes and can hurt them in different ways. The first hex that most auras learn is the Weakening Hex, and this is a hex that you can put onto your opponent, and that opponent will then have less power. So their power, their amount of punch, the amount of damage that they do, decreases. So that means that every time that your foe attacks you, you will have less damage done to you, which is kind of nice, because it means that you can now do more damage to them. Next up is the Bat Bogey Hex, and I really want to see a video of this sometime. The idea of bat boogers coming out and attacking you just sounds great. Now, as good as that may sound, the actual hex really isn't that impressive. Sort of as the Mending Charm for the Magizoologist and the Professor, which does a little bit. This will do a little bit and knock your foe's stamina down a hair, but not by any really magical amount. So it's a hex, but again, it's not going to do that much for you. So most of the time, I'm going to say don't even mess with the Bat Bogey Hex. It's just not worth your time. Just like the Mending Hex, sounds good, but it's really not that great. Now, auras have one particular charm. They have the Focus Charm, and this is a charm where you can transfer focus from yourself to your teammates. So again, this is a great way if you're in a team to help everyone out. So if you have a Magizoologist who needs to revive people but they don't have focus, your aura can then give them their focus and then they can revive people. And so this is a way that you can do other things. If the Professor wants to increase the Proficiency Charm of everyone but doesn't have enough focus, rather than using a potion, the aura can give them the focus that they need to create that charm. So this is a way of helping everyone out, and in a group it's great, but by yourself it's pretty much worthless. And then last up, auras have the Confusion Hex, and you can put this on your opponent and it lowers all of their defense in every way they have, and they become much easier pickings. And so this is a great hex. Once you can get this onto your opponents, they get much easier to knock out. So the heavier power of the aura and the weaker defense of your foes just makes them great. This hex not only decreases their defense, but it decreases their breach defense, and it decreases their chance of dodging. So all around, this is a great hex. If you have that opponent who just keeps dodging on you, throw this hex on them and then that should fix it. I hope this video has cleared up a few things, and it probably has made a few more questions out there, and I probably have stepped on my tongue at some point and said something that wasn't right. That's just my normal thing. And if I did, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'd love to hear your ideas. Now, I realize some people are going to have different sayings one way or the other. That's so great. Let me know down in the comments below, and we'll start a conversation about that. So be ready soon. I'm going to be doing a video on the skill trees and going down through what all of these mean. Power, proficiency power, defense, breach defense, and so on and so forth. What do I want to build first and what do I want to focus on? We'll be doing that, as well as potions, answering all the questions about those to come. If you did like the video, please hit like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. That really does help out the channel, and thank you for that. That means a lot to me. So I think that's about it for now, and until next time, have a magical day. Hi, I'm a chocolate frog. Will you please eat me? I'll even give you Salazar Slytherin to do that. So tasty. So good.